was one of the players that piloted the champion the best as well. So this is a very dangerous combination to leave up from Team Liquid, and I want to see what they really feel was worth this price, because you know, Gwen also as an AP solo laner does offer Jose a bit of flexibility here too in his pick.
Yeah, it's one of the things I really like Gwen. Not only is she extremely powerful, but he kind of builds the damage profile you want anyway, where there are so many. Sometimes, you know, you have to do stuff like Rumble, and Rumble's very good, right, in the jungle or in the lane, but, you know, Gwen kind of gives you what you want as far as damage diversity, nice and early. But as I said, Team Liquid do take Rumble here for Santorin. We know Jenkins has already played Gwen a couple of times, actually, I think, this split. So we know his Gangplank's good if he wants to play here into this matchup. Yeah. Could always leave it as well. I don't think Fly going to take it away from him, but just going to be GP.
No surprise. Not any extra shenanigans.
Ooh,
Fiddlesticks, please lock it in.
He does this every game.
I've been begging for it, though. But please, it's not going to go well with an AP Gwen, because then they're already going to rush Merc Treads. But I still want to see it. Zhao, there's your AD from the jungle. No harm, no foul. It's pretty straightforward. Ezreal getting picked up for Johnsun on the bottom side. I like Ezreal whenever I see early Gangplank top lane locked in as well, because it is one of the few AD carries whose life is not ruined by Gangplank ultimates. There's so many AD carries that both in lane phase, because of the Gangplank ultimate, you know, adding extra slows down there for ganks, and in team fights because of zoning of barrels and the ultimate just get ruined. But Ezreal circumvents it probably the best of anyone.
Yep, I mean, if you need some self-reliance, Ezreal certainly is the AD for you, and there's not as many threats to maybe dive on top of your face this particular game. A lot of Sets and Lee Sins running around these days in the solo lane, a lot of Silas sometimes. That's going to get banned here by Team Liquid. So a pretty decent spot for Ezreal here. We'll see how Fly respond in phase 2 of bans.
I wonder if Team Liquid wants something like a Braum to bring this team together, because whenever you give up the duo of Gwen Xin, which is a very popular duo, it becomes difficult because they section off these team fights with both of those champions being able to create these zones where they can immune basically your backline, and it's this large duration of range denial for both Gwen and Xin. Braum actually buys so much time and is one of the few counter engages that really does work well into those champions. So maybe we see something like that. It's not the best as far as their lane. Might want to pair Varus with something more aggressive like the Leona or Nautilus, but it doesn't look like FlyQuest are too concerned about that pick.
All right, well, Lucian was the other ban for Fly, which is good with Braum if TL wanted to take it, but not available this time around. FlyQuest probably trying to protect Licorice's pick here if I had to guess. Although actually, it's already GP, so never mind. Just trying to target Jensen's champion pool here is Palafox. Even though he is very good and very confident in his laning, his role in this team seems to be like more the push and roam style champions. At least he's going to get banned here by Fly, so we'll see what happens here in the rest of this one. Going to be quite a lot happening. I don't think the first one's going on, but you never know. No, not that one.
Let's see it, Core. Let's see it. I like the Braum. Ooh. He's all right, fumbling through his options. Back to the other side, though, as far as your point on Palafox and what they want for their team to bring this one together. I really do like when he is on a champion who can get push mid and start to roam, especially when you have a Zhao jungle. Anybody who can pair up early on there. You're playing against the Rumble jungle, so you want to try and get jungle pressure early, go for delayed invades possibly, get those deeper wards. There's the problem, we do get it! Definitely love the pick here for them. Really brings some structure to the team fight as well, and makes it a little bit more difficult for for the Varus to really be able to find purchase there. But the Varus Nautilus going to provide a lot of structure to Team Liquid's team fight. Maybe they get their big AoE off.
You said it before, Braum, very good against Zhao and Gwen, also very good with Gwen and Zhao. Kind of like the old Sejuani plus melee of old. Lots of people to help proc there. And LeBlanc last pick here, actually blind for Palafox. Don't see this one too often. Akali already banned, which has kind of been the obvious counter pick we've seen. But this is going to throw him the gauntlet down to Jensen saying, what do you want to play into this?
And it's mostly just that you have double AP soul laners with your Zhao, and we're talking about, all right, he's going to look best if they add something to this comp where you can be aggressive early and play off kill threat. And that is exactly what LeBlanc wants to do. 2v2 with Xin. They want to take any 2v2s all day, every single day. And so it puts a lot of pressure here on Jensen's pick. And, you know, pairing Rumble with the Ryze, it's going to definitely be difficult for them. They have to be very cognizant of every move timer that FlyQuest are able to unlock Palafox from in the mid lane. If Jensen is not able to keep that minion wave under control, able to keep it pushing on the LeBlanc and try and keep some pressure there to pin him down that way, then the map might get away from them very quickly. You lose control of the river gateway, basically, and then that puts pressure on both of your side lanes by virtue of a Fog of War roams.
You know, we heard the analyst desk talking about, you know, FlyQuest as a team that's maybe still searching for their team identity. I think the obvious thing that people looked at when they saw this roster was like, man, this is a pretty talented top side of the rift here. Palafox, Licorice, and JoseDeodo. And I agree. I mean, it's tough, like I said, because lots of roles are stacked in the LCS. But I think that is a good starting point for this team, given the talent of those players. And this is the kind of draft that can maybe show that off. So very excited to see how these three play out, especially if Dreams makes his way into any of the other lanes with the Braum. There's a lot of potential for early game here on the Fly side.
Yeah, the thing with this draft for FlyQuest is it is not subtle, right? You have an Ezreal and a Braum bottom lane, the most defensive bottom lane that's like, please engage on this, counter engage. They easily can evade so much. And so as you're saying, it frees them up to just go super strong, especially in the early game, for Palafox, Jose, and Licorice. Those three, you should be seeing their names pop up on the kill feed a lot in the early game PastryTime. Hopefully for them,
yeah.
it's in the beginning of the kill feed and not on the receiving end. But that is definitely the game plan there for FlyQuest. So hopefully we see some of that early aggression well coordinated. Always like to see a little bit of a delayed invade to try and at least put Rumble, you know, that 15 seconds behind you, where you force him out and force him to move to other camps, because has very little capability of fighting you off. Also being said, you know, Team Liquid's solo laners aren't going to have a lot of agency to help him in that fight. So really want to see if FlyQuest can get the most out of these topside picks.
And as a reminder, FlyQuest are actually co-streaming the LCS in Spanish, which is super cool. If you want to go check that out, you can indeed at twitch.tv/FlyQuest. If you'd like to listen to the LCS in a language other than English, which is a super cool thing they've been doing actually all year.
Yes, sir. Head right on over, and you know, even if you're trying to learn a little, it's always nice to just fully immerse yourself in a new language.
And if you do want to learn a little more about top lane, Kobe, good news. Free preview. This matchup is a fun one.
Top lane is its own language.
Yeah, that is true. It is a Gwen versus GP. Licorice and Jenkins are the free preview for this game. So a matchup that's definitely been popping up a bit, may even pop up a bit more. Both very good players in the matchup. Seriously, if you want to learn, go ahead and check that out. Santorin is busy clearing jungle camps. He's taking out his Raptors. Going to go ahead and nail this blue buff instead. So a bit different. Not full clearing the red side this time.
Yeah, it's a very cautious pathway here, you know, trying to take away your Raptors so that you can't get counter jungled over there, then traversing. You kind of do this loop back where you do a bit of a reverse clear there now from the blue quadrant, because they're fully expecting topside focus as we, you know, set up for Champ Select with all of these picks. So he's trying to get back up there to cover afterwards, but making sure that he doesn't get counter jungled in the process, and assuming that his bottom lane is going to have that push, going to have that control for themselves. Tactical and CoreJJ should be able to push under turret, should be able to, you know, keep the minion wave up close so they can have the extra vision advantage, but very difficult to actually convert on plays versus that duo.
Yeah, we'll have to see, because Licorice actually warded for the tower dive, right, as the barrel will get cancelled up by Hallowed Mist. So Licorice definitely eating the wrong end of the GP level 1. Both these champions are very good at level 1. But you know what, if you didn't see what happened, go check the preview later. You can see exactly how Jenkins built this wave.
It was actually really well played by Jenkins there. He finds the harassment on him, you know, gets very aggressive on the minion wave early on, pushes it in, and was able to find the big chunk of damage there. You see he's already whittled through the extra potion there from Licorice, only has the Doran's shield to rely on, and he continually forces out the W while Santorin is top. There is a ward here watching for the dive, though, as Licorice kind of, you can see, came in as far as the game plan of not fighting the first wave. This does mean that bottom side should be fully secured there for Jose.
Yep, nice and easy there. Scuttle Crab is done and dusted. Oh, good attempts to steal by Tactical, but Dreams ready with the Unbreakable just to make sure it doesn't go away. Licorice, unfortunately for him, is going to be forced off this wave. Is going to TP in and get killed by Santorin? Not yet.
Yeah, Santorin's heading off over to the Krugs. Good bounce back there from Jenkins, though. Still retaining control, and he's got plenty of sustain left for him.
Such a clean barrel kill there by Jenkins as Licorice was diving in.
And you see Jenkins does something key here is whenever he procs the passive there, he's using the move speed to run perpendicular to Gwen so he doesn't get hit by the middle true damage on the last couple of Qs from Licorice. And the sustain that we were talking about, you know, he just chugs his biscuit and his corrupting potion. He's now trying to set up for that Santorin pass.
Licorice no flash, remember, just ignite here, and I think Licorice is just dead in this spot, gonna try and twirl away.
Ignite.
But Jenkins moving on. Ignite down for a bit of extra pressure. Actually still has it. Jenkins kind of low, but the Harpoon should be it. Now Licorice diving back in. Gwen with the Ignite's very scary, and TL will give up the Ghost on that first blood.
I love it. The ring around the Rosie of the minion wave here. Several ranged minions plus the cannon for Licorice, kind of fighting off, using the threat of it and the threat of the Ignite to fight his way out of that gank. Does call up Palafox as well as JoseDeodo, and he's able to get the minion wave in, does get his reset off, so this is a nice little opening here. He really needed to get off this extra reset, and all these minions dropping off to the tower definitely turns around how this lane was going for Jenkins, because he started it out with a very nice advantage for himself, even had it bouncing back, but trying to gank on that big wave, just a little bit of too much extra damage of the extra wave there, and a very good job of Licorice kind of kiting around, buying time for his team to join, as well as put out the extra threat here to force them off, and opens up a little timing advantage.
We can see that Palafox not only did that roam, you know, potentially threaten a dive there on maybe Jenkins or Santorin if he'd stuck himself around, but there's a little nice triangle of vision here. Two control wards there, one at top river there for Licorice, one entering into the river, and then one that Palafox put up himself at the Krug camp right there. So they're very much investing into Licorice, not just putting resources his way to maybe try and gank for his lane or open up skirmishes, but just getting down the vision so he can continue to try and play aggressively as well.
One thing, though, he didn't buy any further sustain on his last back. I guess Licorice had exactly like 400 gold and just gets the ruby crystal. So the honey fruit are going to be very necessary for him. He had no further sustain left. Is gonna, you know, the minion wave is gonna crash right before he gets back though. So Jenkins once again gonna be able to proc his own turret plate.
That's a big wave here. Licorice actually has a ton of extra CS to collect. He's going to have to do so with his barrel in the way. Does snip that away. Should be fine here to get most of these. Does miss a couple there as Jenkins just takes his reset there. Again, done a really good job of managing these waves from level 1 and kind of understanding the matchup very well. But the gold is even as a result. First blood still on the table. Bot side will check in quickly. They're farming. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely cool for Johnsun, for the Ezreal, considering he's got the tier start there, super early stacking on the tier, just wants to keep firing out the Mystic shots. Dreams is actually pretty confident in his ability to keep the minion wave right outside of tower range there. As Braum, you have a lot more leeway with actually holding those, waiting for Johnsun to get right back, and should be a quick reset there. Tactical now picks up his own tier for the Varus to be able to, you know, build off of that lethality, keep spamming out the arrows. Pressure does now start to mount, and once the duo hits 6 of Tactical CoreJJ, that's where maybe the possible kill threat comes through. You have a Gangplank ultimate, you have the double CC ultis from the bottom lane. You'd love more to be able to use those on the enemy jungler. Xin is a great target trying to burst down with these. You can keep him at range, and you can use the Gangplank ultimate for the slow as well. Xin has very few answers to Gangplank ultimate.
All right, TL actually moving for this dragon by the looks of things. Palafox re-TP'd mid. Jensen still has his. Rumwalk up as well, of course. And with Johnsun here just getting pushed in by a tactical because Dreams is topside right now, roaming for that threat we talked about in the top lane. TL are going to get this dragon nice and easily. Santorin just punching it. Not using the smite there. Actually did use it at the end.
Punch it with your mace. The rumble in the jungle skin. Coming back. Blast from the past. Honestly, should be able to clear right back up towards Jenkins, towards that top side too. Licorice's ultimate does force out the flash. And no ignite there used from Licorice either, as he was kind of waiting on kill threat to really come through. But being able to force out the flash on Jenkins opens up a couple different plays for FlyQuest. Meanwhile, towards the mid lane here, they're actually going to find JoseDeodo
Like,
on the Rift Herald.
Jenkins roamed already. Actually stayed around there. Realm Warp is not going to go through, but looks like Gwen is cutting off GP, so it's just 3v2 right now for TL. Santorin here, though. JoseDeodo going to get caught. Equalizer down. GPL down as well. Looks so good onto JoseDeodo, but he takes the Rift Tower down. Jenkins going to be the target here as Palafox forced to run away. Jenkins low but not dead as Licorice again. No flash. Going to have to try and snip his way out, but it's not going to happen. It's Jensen that finds first blood.
Maybe a little bit of miscommunication there, as it was a little bit of an extra dash in. Slight difference in movement there from Licorice. Might have been able to also evade with the rest of the team, but they did secure their Rift Herald, so we'll be able to get their turret play conversion. But man, Jensen here on the Ryze gets to continue to push the wave in after the reset, so quite nice for Team Liquid to get the first blood bonus. Extra gold from pushing in both solo lanes. You see top and mid able to open up the extra resets for them too, so quite nice here. Even though Zhao ultimate popped off early and doesn't cause his death there because Rumble's far outside of the range, the initial burst of damage did make him forced to run out to the top side. Here's the full retreat though, and Licorice swaps one more step forward to auto attack that barrel. Maybe if you turn around a little bit earlier, would be able to escape the extra chase there, but Team Liquid very happy with racking up that first blood bonus. Palafox, now we get to the stages where it becomes more difficult for LeBlanc. Early stages, you want to try and make those big early moves with this champion. Now, Jensen getting easier and easier for him to control this minion wave and try and push it in. Palafox hovers this one though. Maybe he's trying to set up for some roams from bottom lane or something, because right now it's just Xin.
Well, of note, in that last fight, Dreams wasn't 6. He actually just hit it right now. His CoreJJ flashing in with the hook. Jensen going to follow up there with the slow only. Didn't have it empowered, so Palafox going to get away.
Does proc the passive and a huge amount of damage on him, though. That is a very high value roam from CoreJJ. He just earned a turret plate there for Jensen, chunks Palafox out, forces him back to base with no extra health, no passive. This is going to be a cannonless wave pushed into the turret, so you deny the wave. That is tremendous value. That's basically a kill's worth of value. Even though they actually don't kill Palafox, the time he spent going back to base, extra turret plate going down, losing out on that extra experience from all the minions dying. Definitely a big one there from the highest LP holder on the North American server.
All right, well, Johnsun has been the case for a few minutes now. Has been officially abandoned by his support. They are making a play topside, but Dream's actually heading back down there now. As a reminder, Gwen was actually the one that got the Herald. Jose killed it, but didn't get back there in time to take the eye. It is Licorice that has that, so can, of course, use it for his own lane, which I imagine was the reason JoseDeodo was up there, but he's had to leave, so Jenkins does avoid any potential ganks, and TL find themselves actually up very comfortably with the early game they've had.
They are so comfortable. They're almost lying in bed right now with how well this early game is going. They have so much to rely on. Are you kidding me? They've got Gangplank scaling super well, Ryze scaling super well, Rumble Jungle as well. There's so much power that's going to come out later from this Team Liquid lineup, and being able to avoid any sort of these really big early plays from FlyQuest towards the top of the map. I mean, even getting first blood themselves and getting this gold lead. Yes, the Rift Herald was given over, and there's guaranteed gold that's going to be procced by that activation of the Rift Herald at some point from FlyQuest. But, LeBlanc and Zhao being kept to 0 score lines here. Definitely what they want. And CoreJJ, fancy feet.
Dream's actually onto Jensen. JoseDeodo also fighting in the bottom side. The chains end in mid. Now Jose's got to get away, but the Nautilus ultimate's chasing him. They get to the GP ult layers on as well. Equalizer down. JoseDeodo from afar is getting burnt down. Santorin is able to find it. His core does get the rehook. Gwen's Rift Tower gets dropped in mid there because Licorice was roaming down. But it's TL to find the kill.
Oh my goodness, it is a CoreJJ difference. PastryTime, another good roam. He dodges out on Zin's W, turns around, hits him with the hook, then delay on the ultimate, so his Nautilus ultimate procs and he's able to keep him in range long enough. Santorin follows up with the Rumble. Again, Team Liquid pull it out. Another big setup there. So much control from CoreJJ's Nautilus, and even on literally one of the slowest champions in the game. He's still dodging skill shots from his opponents, so very, very good stuff there as far as the TL bottom lane. They've almost even finished up with this tower on bottom side.
Yeah, that's a lot of credit to actually the weird 1v1 that Tactical's basically been in up against Johnsun. But just one again. I mean, this first dodge was great by Core, and then this re-engage is just beautiful.
Yeah, and Zhao doesn't have, you know, any sort of his own dashes, so Jose, he has to use his flash, but CoreJJ already gets his Nautilus ultimate cast on him, so still follows him through. They still get the setup they need. Licorice now.
Yeah, I mean, TP's back in, but they enter the zone. It's okay. Gwen dashes out. He's okay for now. CoreJJ up here, though. JoseDeodo looking for that re-engage, but the ulti's not up in just a few seconds. And Licorice is too low, so FlyQuest, despite getting there pretty quickly, can't actually respond. Yeah,
teleport used to cover here. Definitely necessary one. Licorice was very close to going down. You can even see Jensen was willing to risk a significant amount of his health bar to try and finish that one off and get that kill, but just barely not able to get there with the nice W activation from Licorice. So FlyQuest not completely bleeding all over the map, but it's really, really looking dire for them as far as where this game is headed with the power spikes that Team Liquid are right on track for. So Rift Herald number 2 will spawn, but you already see them. You know, Licorice is down bottom side, teleport is ready. Maybe they can pull out some sort of big play here in this small opening before Gangplank ultimate comes back up. I don't think Team Liquid would want to risk anything there, though, so just give up. It's, you know, Rift Herald number 2, not super high value, so they'll just take an exchange on the bottom side instead.
Jenkins actually going to finish off that first tower. Again, that's a lot of work for Tactical. Just working that down, but the bonus gold goes to Jenkins as he gets down there in the bottom side of the map. Rift Herald, though, is being finished off, so the trade will be finished off by FlyQuest. But I feel like Liquid are just always the kind of team where you just never want them to feel this comfortable, right? They are so good on cruise control. They just know exactly what speed to play the game at. Yeah. CoreJJ's ordering everyone around. They're extremely well practiced. And with this kind of comp in particular, Team Liquid, even though they've got, you know, a bit of gold inflation thanks to GP passive, still feeling good.
So how's this? So if Team Liquid is a car, CoreJJ is actually the brand of the cruise control software that they use.
Yeah, there you go.
Everybody else gets to relax, you know, hands-off steering wheel. They just push, CoreJJ, you're in charge button, you know, making all the plays, leading everything there with the Nautilus, roams for himself. It really does feel like this level for Team Liquid is very, very sustainable for the rest of this game. You see him, he's working well with Santorin right now, moving into the jungle. They get deep wards on both sides. They move their vision line over. There's the Rift Herald spawn. Won't quite finish off this turret. Maybe it will.
Varus to get in there. CoreJJ again finds Jose. Now re-engages with the hook, and there's the Q. Big damage out of the Varus, and Jose cannot live as Tactical. He's going to grab it now. Jenkins diving in on top of Gwen. And Braum, the Q is going to fly over the wall as James is forced to flash. Licorice skips out to safety, but it's still Team Liquid all the way, as Palafox will get this tower at least.
All right, some money back in the bank here for FlyQuest. Maybe they can open up some more long lanes here to try and make some comebacks. It's going to be difficult. They only have the one teleport to work with from Licorice, and since Jenkins does have his own as well, and he's hit that level 11, has his Trinity Force, he's very capable himself in addition to that possibility. So it's going to be very hard. You know, controlling side lanes, you got to deal with Ryze and Gangplank, and then controlling with the team fights, you have to deal with this. Here's another look at it with that Rift Herald. Very nice ultimate setup there from Tactical into the CoreJJ ultimate and hook back. So even with the ultimate popped here, they all get inside the Zen ulti. They finish him off. As soon as he's down, the flank comes through and they force the rest of the team out, even getting more flashes. And Team Liquid should be able to set up for next Dragon pretty easily as well. 40 seconds is plenty of time for them to reset over. You see already Jensen moving from top side.
Yeah, Jensen is TP. Jensen doesn't have ulti, but it's not that far away from cooling off. So again, he can make his way here with more than enough time. Already the vision is there for Team Liquid, at least in their side of the jungle, so they're taking over the river nice and early to make sure they can get that vision line pushed even further forward. As CoreJJ, who else is roaming into the enemy jungle, pushing down wards. And FlyQuest are positioned to fight here. Licorice gonna have to TP to it, though.
Yeah, and I don't know if they get better opportunities, because sometimes you would want to say, oh, you've already given up position on the Dragon, and it's Jenkins Gangplank just in the river setting up barrels. That's going to be hard to poke into, but they don't have a lot of other options later, right? You know, it's not like there's this huge path at the end. 30,000, 3K left on this dragon.
30,000. That was quite a buff. As Jenkins is getting poked. FlyQuest are trying to find their moment, but Licorice actually busy split pushing. Might not be coming to this one. In fact, it was just a little steal attempt. Now they go back in, but Jensen TP's back to top side to make sure Licorice can't finish off the tower. And Jose now diving in onto Tactical, but the blast plant perfectly placed does save Tacticals. Licorice has actually roamed down after baiting, I guess, the TP out of the Ryze, but unfortunately for FlyQuest, there is no follow-up angle on the engage.
Yeah, it's now sole point for Team Liquid, so I guess going for the steal there. They're trying to funnel more money into Gwen. One of their hopes for FlyQuest is a kind of 1v9, Gwen 1v9 at the later stages to try and pull that off. Does at least have Riftmaker, so maybe they'll be able to find one of these picks. Team Liquid, though, feels like they have smoothed out quite a lot from some of the turbulence we saw from this team throughout summer with all the roster swaps going on, some of the drama popping up. Licorice, here we go. There's the Gwen. No CC for yourself, though, to stop Jensen, so he doesn't really flinch and just gets right out of there.
Yeah, last little bit of mana actually used by Jensen, but more than enough to ulti out, so he'll be fine. And as you mentioned, the side lane farming situation's only going to improve. Ryze is already excellent at farming waves, and I imagine Jenkins is going to be going to some sort of Tiamat in this build, so not only does he get the AoE team fighting, but he gets the AoE minion farming as well. So going to be tough for FlyQuest to push through GP and or Ryze in either side lane. And again, Team Liquid can just hold on to this gold lead, hold on to the next dragon in 3 minutes 30 seconds, and constantly make FlyQuest fight them at the soul.
I mean, this is kind of the new Team Liquid identity with Jenkins in. Very high priority on what seems so far to be some specific champions, the Gangplank and the Akali, two of the best here. I am definitely one that does not like to immediately jump in on players and try and criticize champ pool just because they haven't had success on other things, if they're not being denied these ones, right? They work so well with the Gangplank ultimate. Jenkins is very confident in giving up the Gwen, playing it into it. He's had 2 successful games of the matchup, so it really does feel like this plan for TL doesn't require more deviation and sticking right to it, especially if you give your bottom lane this much control and a Varus Nautilus duo. Seems like a very, very easy execution for them.
All right, well, the setup right now is Gwen still side landing. Licorice actually between the towers is working on item number 2, has the Riftmaker done already, but we all know the Nashors is where it really gets spooky for the enemy team. Or I guess the team that doesn't have Gwen. Little brush trap being set up though. Oh, hello. Onto Dreams we go. Nice ulti there, but the knockup's following through and the damage is just too good. Santorin with the equalizer does indeed get the kill. TP's flying through for TL to make sure they can keep fighting if they need to, and Fly can't fight the 4v5.
Bottom lane, too much there. Tactical and CoreJJ combined to finish off Dreams. There's just too much CC. They keep him on the Rumble Ultimate the entire time. Burns him away even with the Unbreakable up. Braum down, and it is a well-executed pick as far as the timing, too. Even with teleports channeling coming in, TL also channel and defend their own as far as any possible counterplay from FlyQuest. That's one of those openings as FlyQuest you're hoping to try and turn around. Hey, if they go on our Braum and use a bunch of ultimates, theoretically, we can get the counterplay here, but TL actually survive in using so much to take down a Braum.
Flash chain, Licorice here, flash from Santorin, in we go for the Gwen, equalizes Onya's. Stopwatch, excuse me, still good enough there for Santorin, but not enough to stop Licorice's ulti from killing you. But what a Q there out of Tactical, finds the ulti as well, almost locks up Palafox with the follow-up route, but is absolutely guaranteed. Licorice, that is the wrong one, but my goodness, if he died from cleave, that would have been hilarious.
Oh, he shot that clone good. Get that grass pock. HP for later. Team Liquid, they do buy enough time there with the stopwatch for the counter kills. So even as FlyQuest are reaching for this opening for some sort of comeback pick, feels like you've got a very short list to work off. Like, all right, what do we do for plan B, Pastry Time? We try and pick somebody off? Okay, well, we already tried that one. See if we can do it again. Open up some control wards here. Try and work away from the tactical CoreJJ pick machine that they have been. They do have a little bit of a front line to work off here with Gwen having the Zonias and Jose here with the tankier Zhao build.
All right, we got to go now for FlyQuest. If you're wondering why Palafox TP'd ASAP, it's because there's a Dragon Soul to fight for in 5 minutes, and FlyQuest must face CoreJJ in Tactical again.
And Palafox is down to 50% HP. That's why, you know, poke onto LeBlanc is so valuable here. You see Tactical finding multiple skill shots landing onto Palafox, chunking him down before this Dragon fight.
Oh my goodness. JoseDeodo just lost like most of his health out of poke there. Nice Q aim from Tactical. And Jenkins is really making it tough. CoreJJ hooks the clone, but now that passive is gone, and TL can just start this freely.
Yeah, they don't have to heavily damage it either. They just want to try and bait FlyQuest in so they get a hook.
Oh, CoreJJ already in there. FlyQuest are looking for the fight. Tactical, though, has already taken out the mid laner, and now Licorice and Santorin both going golden, but the follow-up is there for Team Liquid. CoreJJ almost finds Dreams again, but the flash is nice there from the Braum. Team Liquid a little low on health, but not low enough that they're going to back away anytime soon, especially with Qs like that landing out of Tactical.
Jensen has teleport. He's channeling to recall. Does the Dragon Splash hit him?
Oh, it did, but it didn't cancel. CoreJJ also dancing away. Now it's GP ulti on top of Dreams as the Q is going to get blocked enough. Now Licorice deletes Jensen's health as he TPs in, but Jenkins still fighting with the Varus. Tactical again. He's got the Qs, he's on a rampage as he takes down JoseDeodo, and that's it. That's the Dragon Soul for Team Liquid.
Yeah, they've got the extra advantage in the long fight there. Since
Good luck, Johnsun. Oh.
Since Palafox got chunked out so heavily before it in getting that LeBlanc kill, there's no panic in the eyes of Team Liquid. And that secures the Dragon Soul for themselves. Take a sip, Jensen. Should be trivial now for this team. Fully stacked up with that Dragon Soul, head right back out. They can bait on Baron even. Here's another look at how it happened. Great equalizer, cuts off backline, but Licorice. You know, the Gwen dream of trying to get that big zoning Q from the backline, big chunks of damage done, and then maybe if Johnsun, you know, finds these big mystic shots, they could make something happen, but Tactical using every little last bit of mana to chunk them down. Also hitting off Johnsun there as well. Takes up the blue buff, and with CoreJJ being able to kite into the brush, pretty easy turnaround there. Here back to live, though, you can see they are opening up their Baron bait by first taking down the defenses of FlyQuest, take down that last outer turret that is standing, then put your vision in through the jungle and force them to walk into Rumble's most beloved territory. Blue jungle walking up to Baron. He's got a Nautilus on his team and a Varus, just waiting to lock people in place.
And look, you know, FlyQuest own the speed train. I can see Jensen hitting the Baron. They know what's going on. It's just a matter of what can you actually do to stop it. As the Baron is getting low very swiftly. TP is going in. Can't cancel anymore. Good stasis there for Licorice. So Dream's not going in hot, but Palafox already melting down. A Santorin pops his own Zonage, and Jensen has taken down Pala, and the AoE is just too much here. Jensen and Jenkins making it happen. Tactical sealing the kills with the arrows over the top as Johnsun is going to flash into the ulti. Still gets sniped by Tactical for the triple kill. And JoseDeodo can only watch his life fall away as the Infernal Soul empowered Varus Qs keep on coming.
Yeah, this game is a massacre. PastryTime. Team Liquid are going to run him out of his own jungle even. Johnsun just won't stop. Can he get revenge here?
It's like a little mini game.
All right, he doesn't get too close to the brush. No attempt there for our W from Xin. Doesn't get any sort of revenge, and it is going to be Baron buff here. Level 16s, cruise on right here to Jensen. Very easily able to push in both side lanes. Here's another look at their Baron bait. It was getting a little bit dicey for Santorin inside the Baron pit as he got knocked up there, so a lot of distance, but because they're able to control the top side of the river, Santorin still has a way out of the Baron pit, and with Tactical on the big flank up behind the Baron, so much damage keeps coming through. Tactical playing his range here very well on the Sniper Champion. Very nicely placed Gangplank ultimate to land that slow on Johnsun to allow the last snipe there to come through as well. And this has actually been, I'd say, the best performing champion for Tactical this year. You know, with all the stuff that went on with Tristana previously, really like his look on the range champs here. Sniping away, Varus definitely highly prized and not easy to get in all the drafts, but he's been quite good with it. Gets a little faked out there as Palafox jumps over. It's very difficult to you know, hit LeBlanc reaction there as far as you can always take your distortion back, so a little bit of a jump scare gets the ultimate out.
Yeah, I mean, Tactical Devs does have to play carefully here as well, right? No time, no Thresh to maybe try and bail you out. But more than enough power here with the Baron buff here out of Team Liquid. As Jenkins casually pushing in a wave.
One more for Legendary. Will Tactical go Legendary this game? That's my bet for you right now. I'm going to say yes. I say there.
He needs one more kill?
There's
yeah, absolutely.
95% chance he goes Legendary. Could die, though, in which case you lose it.
That's true.
Doesn't have to waste any time, though. It's so easy to just throw poke over and over at this FlyQuest team. Not only do they chunk Palafox out and force him back to the fountain, but they also get Zhao's ultimate. That's got to be a wrap. These turrets are going down, Pastry, and they're going down quick.
I mean, poke everywhere, right? Nautilus Q poke, Varus poke, Rumble E poke, GP Q poke, Ryze poke. Gonna take 2 inhibs here nice and easy. Trying to end the game. Again, Hook's flying wild out from CoreJJ, but hey, been pretty accurate so far. It's very easy to lock down someone and grab a kill, regardless of who you hit with how much damage or how much of an advantage they have. Jenkins isn't even like bothering to barrel people anymore, by the way. He's mostly just straight up parlaying people in the face because he knows that, setting up barrel takes too long. Just Q them, they die quicker. GP ulti, zoning them off their own towers. It's just starting to feel rough here for FlyQuest. Licorice getting zoned. Nice little W to immune the incoming hook, but now you're too far forward. The damage, though, pretty good as he goes golden, and now the rest of FlyQuest reinforced, but again, TL, there's too much poke. Jose tries to dive in, is forced to flash out almost immediately, and now Jensen's gonna punish him. Flash root Everfrost as Jenkins finds the final hit, and Tactical, oh no, Kobe. Oh no, Kobe!
He got one!
The Legendary!
The Legendary!
The Legendary is gone. And TL actually have to leave.
First.
They're still going. Jenkins flashes out. Now rehook that for CoreJJ. Exhaust down, but not enough there. Santorin's going to fry Licorice. And CoreJJ still cordoning them off. Who's going to miss? Palafox and Johnsun are on the wrong side of the map.
Yeah, even the caster curse won't stop them. Team Liquid are going to go to finish off the job. It did come at the cost of Tactical's legendary streak, but here they are on the Nexus.
All right, here we go. Nexus under fire. Johnsun fighting back. Team Liquid going to be deflected, but maybe not for too much longer. Actually, FlyQuest, they're holding on the sad B indeed, but still, they get the ace. We're not done yet.
Oh, Johnsun burning down there, sad B with the Ignite still on him, watching his life bleed out in front of him. All right, back to live, though. We've got an Elder Dragon on screen, Pastry.
Back to live? Like the thing you talked about didn't happen 5 seconds ago.
No, because everything inside that base was death. This is life, though. FlyQuest on the Elder Dragon. This is the comeback scenario.
That's going. Got a decent chance to steal this. Jose's got Smite, but Tactical's just getting in there 1v3 with the Elder Dragon as his buddy. And no one else is coming. This is the Tactical 1v3 only.
If you steal this,
here it comes.
Jose's going to get benched if this gets stolen.
Here it comes. All right, there we go. They got it. Tactical not able to grab it. Nice work from FlyQuest. Still have an open base, and the team's in there. Jensen moving in with the Realm Warp. Now it's a 2v2 defense. The Elder Dragon is not enough. It is Team Liquid claiming the Nexus.
Oh, what an ending there. They definitely made it fun as well. Elder Dragon for the old Nexus. Nice Realm Warp in at the end from Jensen to finish it off. The makings of the comeback, kind of in the hopes of FlyQuest, but definitely well played from Team Liquid from beginning to end of this game. So they kept FlyQuest from accomplishing what they wanted to on the top side of the map very effectively. And especially getting that first blood, even in exchange for the Rift Herald, funding themselves and some of these fights towards the mid stages of the game. Big shout out to the bottom lane for sure in this one.
Yeah, tough to pick who played better. They both played exceptionally well in this particular game, as they will take about. Tactical's Varus looking nice with all that poke. CoreJJ, of course, on point with the Nautilus as FlyQuest. Felt like they had the plan, just tough to enact when Liquid are playing that well.
Yeah, definitely need to execute a little bit better, especially towards the top side, because they knew they were going to give up a lot on bottom, and that's costing you. So you have this cost on bottom side where they're losing turret plates, they're getting pushed in. Tactical and CoreJJ are finding roam opportunities. They're getting gold for themselves. They almost take the entire tower by themselves. A lot of it, tactical in 1v1 scenarios where CoreJJ is roaming, but he's also creating value for them up towards the mid lane. And if you're not getting something, if you're not creating something on the other side of the map in exchange for this cost you're paying down there, then you're just going into debt. And there's no way you're going to be able to get out of that versus Team Liquid. They've got too much cash.
Yeah, I mean...
They don't need to borrow.
No, that is true. The money gun is always full. Don't have to worry about reloading that sucker. I'm wondering, I like the fact that Team Liquid are continuing to give every team Gwen. Like, Licorice's Gwen, you said it, looked good. Maybe one of the best that we've seen in the LCS. But Jenkins is like, it's fine. I can handle it.
Give me the Gangplank. Give me the Akali. He's had his good answers. And it's not even about, some dominating performance, but really good control early on. The Gangplank ultimates do so much for how TL like to approach the game in some of their map movements. And you see so many crop map plays enabled by the fact that he is able to add those ultimates. On top of it, again, bottom lane play is kind of the structure, though, that they build everything off. And so many of these picks towards the mid game, again, it's CoreJJ's hooks, it's his Nautilus ultimates, it's tacticals, Varus ultimates as well, and the poke that he's landing. So tremendous work done there. No surprise that the player of the game is CoreJJ himself. He got my vote.
Rank 1 man, perfect human. Played pretty well that game. Congrats to CoreJJ for winning. I don't know how many he's won in his time since he's been here and we've done player of the game, but it's a lot. We should get a lifetime Pog leaderboard. That's a good thing. Someone out there knows what's going on. Stats are hooked at it.